Okay, so we have consumed the string, but now we need to consume the class. So in order to do that, first thing we have to do is go to our YAML file and we need to specify this to be a JsonDeserializer. And in that case, we have to pick it up from the Spring Framework package. And that would be this. And we need to specify this to be post event consumer. Okay, and this will be post event consumer dot. Oh wait, sorry, what? This should be post event info. Post event info. Let's see. We'll just print this, and we need to produce it from our post service. Okay. We go to our post service and start that up. And let's see what happens. Before I do consume, I need to put a breakpoint. So let's put a breakpoint in here. And okay, so we will publish and did we push? Yeah, it seems. Let me check to the post event. Okay, so it says back off fixed back off. So there it seems. Let me check if we have received the message. Yes, we have received the message, as you can see, but it did not reach the consumer. So probably there is an exception that has occurred on the consumer side. So you see back off fixed back off, right? And exhausted, right? So probably this is related to the JSON deserializer, and this creates an issue. So for to resolve that, what we can do is we need to add things to our configuration, to our application, to our to a configuration file, and in that case we'll just create a application configuration file. And this would be annotated with add configuration, and this would have a Kafka configuration. We would add a Kafka configuration to this. And before that, we can put a let me create a package first, configuration. And this would belong to this. Also, before that, I'll put a error handler that would help us identify I hope this gives out the error. It goes Kafka. Oh, wait a minute. This needs to be a common error handler. And this has a function called handle1. We will just override this function. And is there anything handle other exception? We'll take these both of these in our Kafka error handler class, and this should be at, just add a log4j to it. And we go as at override with non-default. Should be public. Should be public as well. And at override. Should be logger.info, logger.error, log.error with thrown exception dot get message, consumer message. Let's put a consumer exception. And this should be similar to put it thrown exception dot print stack trace. And this would be same over here. Consumer exception with consumer record. Do we have? Okay, and here I would also pass a, let's check this out first. And thrown exception dot print stack trace. Let's see if this gives out some sort of an exception to us. Okay, this started, so let me just run it again. No, it does not. Default error handler. Oh wait, I need to specify the error handler. Go over here. This has to be at bean common error handler. Return new Kafka error handler. Let's see if this works. I don't think so it'll work, but let's give this a try. Oh, okay. So what does it say? It says that cannot convert from string to a post event info. So it means it's a parsing issue. And even though we have specified that it should be a Java deserializer, it does not work. And in order to solve this issue, what we can do is, rather than putting the configuration in, produce a consumer configuration in the YAML file, we can put that in a application configuration here. And for that, it'll be at bean public consumer factory. This will be a string and a student event. Sorry, it'll be post event info. Yeah, consumer factory. And we need to create a map that would contain all the configuration for it. So this will be string, a map of string and object, properties, new hash map. Now this would have the bootstrap server. So properties dot put consumer config dot bootstrap server config, and this would have the similar text that we have put into the YAML file. Okay. This would be a serializer, key deserializer key. Let's have this as key deserializer class config, and this would be a string deserializer dot class, and this will be a value deserializer, and this will be a JSON deserializer from the Spring class. Okay, and we also need the auto offset. Should be earliest, and this will be auto offset reset config. Yeah, so this will be return new default Kafka consumer factory. Okay, and what does it have? So it has a properties and new string serializer deserializer, and have a new JSON deserializer, which will have a student dot sorry, not student, post event info dot class. And yeah, but it also needs a Kafka listener container factory. And okay, so this is just loading up the properties. We also need a listener that would take this properties and create a listener out of it. So to being, it'll be a concurrent Kafka listener container factory, which will be of type string and post event. Okay, so this will have a concurrent Kafka listener container factory of type string and post event info. let's call it factory is equal to new this, and factory dot set consumer factory. Okay, we'll set this, the consumer factory, in here, and this will be factory dot consumer error handler, common error handler. That will be error handler from here. Yeah, return new, return the factory. Okay, let's see if this works. I want to debug this rather than running it. Okay, it has come to the event F8. So it has consumed the student info, as you can see over here. So this works. Let me just put some get ID and if we go to again generate a event, it should print the ID. Okay, and if we take a look at search, it should give me this ID, which is CE5, and I hope it's the same. That is CE5. Yeah, that's it for this. Thanks for watching. Bye.